What would you do if you found yourself in a wrestling match with a dinosaur, a boy from the jungle, a small person, a lazy man, and two best friends? Today, we'll take a look at how to beat an AEW 3-man tag team match featuring the Jurassic Express, made up of Jungle Boy, the Luchasaurus, and Marko Stunt, taking on the team of the best friends, Trent and Chuck, with Orange Cassidy. Sports entertainment is filled with big guys with big strikes, but there are also little guys with little strikes. At one point in this matchup, Orange Cassidy approaches Luchasaurus in the ring and puts his hands in his pockets to execute arguably his most popular maneuver. Okay, first off, how Orange Cassidy doesn't get railed every time he does his lazy kicks kind of bewilders me. He's obviously trying to get the neckbeards in the crowd to like him, and it works stupendously. But what does it matter if you don't get a win in a numbers-based sports entertainment enterprise? Orange Cassidy hands Luchasaurus on a silver platter every opportunity to lay him down. In his mellow state, Orange Cassidy's reaction time can't be on the top. He could be playing possum, but we don't know. Luchasaurus could easily lay him out with a clothesline or one of his dinosaur-sized kicks. But nope, he goes for a suplex. Big mistake. And this shows how Orange Cassidy could just be playing possum, since he effortlessly counters the suplex into a stunner. Tag team or trios matches are a skill to master on their own. And here we see Jungle Boy showing his tag team experience to make sure to slap Luchasaurus on the back while the ref is looking at him. In many tag team matches, many refs do not actually see the tag made, especially in AEW. It's hard to tell whether or not the ref will correctly use his or her power, or if he or she even has any. This ref must have had some power, since Jungle Boy made sure to check the backslap tag. After getting tagged out, Luchasaurus is then pulled out of the ring by the best friends and put into a position for Orange Cassidy to attempt a high-risk maneuver. After they place him, they back away from Luchasaurus as Orange Cassidy flies through the middle rope, slamming his body with his hands in his pockets into Luchasaurus. Okay, errors were made on both sides of the ropes here. Luchasaurus took a stunner just seconds ago, but if you saw him fall to the mat, he still has the wherewithal to put his arms up to break his fall, and to walk with the best friends to get into position. He clearly could see that Orange Cassidy was coming for him, and the best friends let go of Luchasaurus with more than enough time for him to pull off some sort of defensive move. Put his arms up, duck, step out of the way. But for some reason, Luchasaurus decided to try to catch Orange Cassidy. Obviously, this didn't work. On Orange Cassidy's part, why would you try to keep your hands in your pockets while attempting this maneuver? The potential to hurt yourself and not being able to control goes up by not having your arms to break your fall. You could also use your arms to strike. In this instance, Orange Cassidy should look at wrestling more effectively instead of pandering to his fans, since in AEW, wins matter. After a minor mid-match celebration, Jungle Boy rallies and tries to take the best friends out on his own. After a couple successful hits, he gets powered down by Trent and fallen onto by Orange Cassidy. The pin attempt is foisted by Marko Stunt, who came off the top rope with a double foot stomp. Okay, so a lot more errors were made in this altercation. We all know sports entertainment is here to make people happy, but in a promotion that claims wins matter, should we be taking the time to do our little taunts? There is plenty of time after and before matches to pose. They chose to hug each other. This also gave Jungle Boy the chance for a surprise attack. Orange Cassidy saw it coming, but instead of moving out of the way, he hunkered down and braced for the attack. Had he simply stepped out of the way, he could have stopped Jungle Boy's rally and saved his friends from some damage. However, I am a little confused as to what Jungle Boy's intent was when he leapt over Chuck. Chuck got in a half squat position and clearly wasn't placed to help Jungle Boy fly over him, and Jungle Boy flew right over him. Normally, when a wrestler attempts a back body drop, he gets his upper body down low. If Jungle Boy had used his momentum to perform a missile drop kick, he could have laid out Trent for a bit. Then, Orange Cassidy performs a falling attack. Again, what's the point of this? Why are you in sports entertainment if you aren't trying to win your match, especially in AEW where wins and losses matter? Also, why did Marko Stunt choose to do a high-risk maneuver to break the pinfall? This was an unnecessary risk. Simply pulling or pushing Orange Cassidy off would have been just as effective. Orange Cassidy was able to make the tag, and this allowed Marko Stunt to get a rally of moves in on the best friends. He then gets on Luchasaurus' shoulders and is launched onto Trent and Orange Cassidy. This leaves Chuck in the ring alone to get pinned by Jungle Boy. Okay, I have a lot of questions of what just happened. First off, why did Chuck Taylor not reach out with his left arm to tag Orange Cassidy? Why did he make him go all the way to the corner to tag him? Normally, there are some obstacles to block an opponent from tagging his partner, but Marko Stunt just let Cassidy go? Orange Cassidy then rolls out of the ring and then goes to his opponent's corner for some dumb reason. Now, I don't really understand how Marko Stunt got in his offense here. This move on Chuck doesn't make any sense. All he did was assist Chuck in falling, and then Marko Stunt used his body to break Chuck's fall. Somehow though, this dazed Chuck enough to let Trent get up to allow Marko Stunt to perform a Canadian Destroyer on him. That's right, I said let, because if you take a look here, Marko Stunt barely has enough legroom to push a regular-sized man off the mat. However, Trent must have been trying to do a reversal on the maneuver, maybe? If anyone could please explain this one to me, I'd greatly appreciate it. Both of these men are literally twice the size of Marko Stunt, so overpowering him shouldn't even be a second thought. However, after getting slammed on his head, Trent leaves the ring and takes the long way around the ring to hang out with his tag partner, Orange Cassidy. Why did these two do this? If you were in a situation like this, I highly advise you to stay in your corner and assess the situation. Don't go to your opponent's corner and just stand there with your partner like Trent and Cassidy did. I'm so confused as to why they went over there and just stood there and watched as Luchasaurus threw Marko Stunt onto them. My advice here is to not do anything stupid like this. Jungle Boy's roll-up reversal of Chuck's powerbomb attempt was a great move. However, I wouldn't be bouncing with the referee's 3 count. All you are doing here is giving momentum to your opponent. Rather, I'd cinch down on the pin and put all of my weight onto his legs. So there you have it. Would you have won this trios match? Let me know in the comments below what else you would have done differently to ensure victory. And remember, until next time, lace up your boots one at a time and think about your next maneuver.